Okay, yesterday in class I didn't get a chance to look over level 1, level 2 and section test for the inverse and composite functions. So you just want to check through it now. Question 1 there is just subbing in. Remember, you go from the right into the left. I think everything should be straightforward in the notes, so I wouldn't be too worried about that one. Number 2. This is, we did an example like this on the board, sort of working out backwards. So if you look at this one, the T went into the S. So the T goes here, and it goes into the S. And so on. This one here, the S went into the T. So S goes here, and then you go back to the T. And so I think that should be okay. Number 3 isn't too bad either. It's find the inverse. So you set y equals each of those and rearrange to get x. Whenever you have rearranged, make sure you replace x with the inverse function and replace y with an x. So that's just rearranging. Some of the rearranging is tricky enough. So if you look at this one, you want to get the x's in a row. So you'll put all the x's on one side, factorize it out, bring it over, and then replace x with the inverse and replace y with x's. And so on. The next one, number 4, was just doing a mixture of things here. So find the inverse, should be straightforward enough, find the inverse, put g in to f, and when we look down here, one that you will want to look at is number 4, just making sure you understand that. So I'm looking for the inverse of fg. Fg you have worked out in part 3, which is above. So that's what you're trying to find the inverse of. So put y equals to that, rearrange to get x equals, and again, replace the x equals with the inverse, and replace y's with x's. Part 5, put the f into the g, and then in part 6 is the inverse of that. So you'll put the f into the g, you'll get the inverse, put y equals, rearrange to get x equals, and then replace that with the inverse and replace x with the, y with the x. And the last one, what you're going to do here, you start off at the right hand side. So put the inverse of g in, let's get the inverse of g, you can see it there, and it goes into the inverse of f. So that's what goes into the inverse of f, and tidying that up. And then we do the other way around. So we put the inverse of f, which is that one, into the inverse of g and tidy it up. And that is that wee exercise done.